there's two files. The first one is file 210918FY. The second file is 21-1109FY. Would the attorneys please identify themselves for the record?
Joseph Bayman on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Daniel Duke appearing on behalf of Jordan Pope.
All right. Today's time and date set for an arraignment for two cases. So, Mr. Duke, may I address your client regarding those two cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Pope, I'm going to show you there's two different dates for two different charges. So the first one is going to be the one from the allegations that took place, I think, in June. And I'm going to show them on the computer screen here. Let me know when you see them. I'll tell you when you should see them. The document should be up in front of you right about now. Is it on your screen there?
Yeah, what is when was that date?
Yeah, hang on, I'll show you. That date was from June 19th. So
Was I in jail on that day?
I don't think so, but well,
I went to jail in March 14th,
well,
and I got 87 days credit.
Okay.
March.
Well, this says this is the allegation that the prosecutor is indicating that on June 19th of this year, they believe that you were at an address at 3939 North Ranke Road, Geneva Township, Midland County, Michigan. And the allegations are that you committed aggravated stalking as habitual offender fourth. The reason why you're habitual offender fourth is because of 3 prior felony convictions. One, December 9th, 2010, of attempted malicious destruction of fire property in Isabella County. Once on April 16th, 2004, of unlawful use of a motor vehicle in Isabella. And once on June 4th, 2021, of aggravated stalking in Midland County, making this at least the 4th felony. And what that does is has a multiplier effect on the maximum penalty. So the allegations here is that you engaged in a willful course of conduct involving repeated or continuous harassment of Jessica Cornmere, and the conduct being such that would cause a reasonable person to feel terrorized, frightened, or intimidated, or threatened, or harassed. And the said conduct actually caused Jessica Cornmere to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, or threatened, or harassed. And at least one of the actions constituted an offense of a violation of a conditional pretrial release. If you're convicted of aggravated stalking, that is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or $10,000 in fines, plus court costs, probation for any term of years, not less than 5. But as a habitual offender fourth, if you're convicted of that, it's up to life in prison. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty? I'm not saying that you're agreeing that it happened, just do you understand what I just read?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Duke, how do you advise your client should plead to this charge?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Not guilty plea will be entered in the records of this court. I'm going to appoint an attorney for Mr. Pope. The probable cause conference will be on August 24th at 1 o'clock. The preliminary examination for this case will be at 2:15 in the afternoon. I'll set bond on both cases once I've read the additional charge. So we're going to jump over to the other case now.
So on that last one, it didn't say what. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. What is it? What were the allegations that I did?
I can share that.
I mean,
hang on.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying.
That's okay. The allegations were on an affidavit provided by the Midland County Sheriff's Office. It said that suspect stalking his ex-girlfriend on a bond condition. Suspect, which kept the suspect from being to the victim's residence. Victim heard loud music. Ex-boyfriend exited the car and threw a small hatchet, striking the house, and then threw a rock at the house, damaging the siding. Finally, suspect ripped the door handle off from the victim's car and then left at a high rate of speed. So the allegations are that the victim in this case saw you do these things, and that's what she said took place. Does it make sense now as to why you're being charged? Not, okay.
I mean, now that you presented something, it makes me, I mean,
you understand it.
Shows what's going against me, I guess. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, right now we're going to do this new one. So this is a different one. I'm going to show this to you here. This is in file 211109FY. The allegations are on August 6th of this year that at 3939 North Ranke Road, Geneva Township, Midland County, Michigan, it is alleged that you did break and enter or enter without permission a dwelling 3939 North Ranke Road while entering, present in, or exiting, did commit an assault while entering in or exiting the dwelling of Jessica Comier, was lawfully present. If you're convicted of this crime, it is up to 20 years in prison. However, your charge was habitual offender fourth. Those are the same convictions we talked about before, the 2004, 2010, and 2021 convictions in Isabella and Midland County. So that makes it up to a life offense for that charge. Also, there's this piece here that says consecutive sentencing may be imposed for any conviction arising out of the same transaction, which means these could be consecutive. This could be consecutive to some of the others. Count 2, you're charged with aggravated stalking. It is alleged in the same date, time, and place you did engage in willful course of conduct involving repeated or continuous harassment of Jessica Comier. The conduct being such that would cause a reasonable person to feel terrorized or frightened or intimidated, threatened, harassed, and or molested. And the conduct did cause her to feel terrorized, threatened, intimidated, harassed, or molested. And at least one of the actions was a violation of pretrial release and or the defendant has previously been convicted of aggravated stalking. That makes it up to 5 years in prison, a $10,000 fine plus court cost, probation for any term of years not less than 5 years. But because of the habitual, it could be up to life in prison. And then you're charged with domestic violence third offense because the allegation was in the same date, time, and place. You made an assault or assault and battery upon a Jessica Comier, an individual who had a child in common or a resident, a former resident of your household, or an individual if you had a dating relationship, and that you were convicted at least 2 times before, once on November 4th, 2004 in Isabella County of domestic violence, once on January 25th, 2012 in Isabella County, therefore making this the 3rd time for domestic violence, making that a 5-year, $5,000 felony. However, because of the habitual, it could be up to life in prison in this case. That was the complaint that you heard the deputy swearing out on the, not on the record, but we had read it while it was, you were present. So do you understand the charges in this case, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Duke, how do you advise your client to plead in this case? You're frozen, Mr. Duke. Katrina, can you reach out to Mr. Duke to let him know that his
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, not guilty plea will be entered in records of the court of this case. Mr. Amon, it shows that the defendant is found over on an unrelated aggravated stalking case. That case is slated. Is it adjudicated already?
He has pled, Your Honor. It's up for sentencing, I believe, this week.
August 12th at 1:30, I'm told. All right, I'm going to appoint an attorney for the defendant in this case. The probable cause conference will be on August 24th at 1. Preliminary examination, if we have it, is August 31st at 2:45. Mr. Duke, the fact that your client is on bond for these charges, I'm going to hold him. This is a potential one. It could be no bond because of the domestic, because of the home invasion case. I think with the fact that he's already on bond waiting sentencing, but I'm going to set $500,000 cash or surety in both files. No contact, standard bond terms. Anything else we need to place? No contact with the victim. Anything else we need to place on the record from people?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Duke?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We'll be adjourned on both of those files. Thank you.
So when is my next court date?
Your next court date, it looks like, is with Judge Beal for sentencing on August the 12th. If he still does it, I don't know. He may decide to push it out a bit, but it'll be August 12th. And then the next court date with me is August 24th.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty.